Hi everybody, Joel Carlson here at Faces of Minnesota, and today my guest is Chris Egert of KSTP News. Chris, welcome, and welcome to Minnesota. We know you've been here a few months. Let us know a little bit about you, Chris. Where did you grow up, and since you're in the news business, what kind of things maybe when you were growing up led you to become interested in being a journalist person?
Well, Joel, first of all, thank you for having me and doing this. It's weird having the camera turned this way, so bear with me. Let's see, how did a little background about myself. I grew up in South Dakota. My dad moved up here to the Twin Cities probably about 25 years ago.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of time in the cities as I was growing up. A lot of my dad's side of the family are in the Twin Cities. A lot of them came from the Laverne area in southwest Minnesota. So I consider myself definitely a big part Minnesotan. But I can't lie, I did grow up in South Dakota.
Okay. You're from the Midwest.
Yeah, and you know, I just love it here. I'm so glad to be here. We've kind of, over the course of the last 17 years, I've worked a lot of different places. I started out in TV. I started out in radio, going to college in Huron, South Dakota. And I worked at night as a DJ at a country music station, an AM country music station. And I really liked that. I thought I was going to do radio, and one day somebody suggested that I think about TV, and it was the furthest thing from my mind. So I had a TV internship at KDLT in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That was probably about 1995. I graduated.
When you were 10, right?
Yeah. So I graduated from college in '96, and that station, KDLT, hired me right away. So I worked there for a couple of years, did politics, consumer type stories, got to travel with DC, do some pretty cool stuff for your first job.
Right.
Then I took an anchor job in Rapid City, South Dakota. I was there for a couple of years, enjoyed that too. Then went to Omaha, Nebraska, the CBS station in Omaha, Nebraska, where I met my wife, so that was one of the best things that came out of that whole deal, and really enjoyed my time in Omaha. There's some kind of thing like people up here in the Twin Cities think like Omaha is like this cow pasture sort of town. It's not. Omaha's a great town.
Mm-hmm.
So wife and I left Omaha and moved to Orlando, and was in Orlando for 5 years.
Oh, that's a change.
Yeah, two kids from the Midwest.
Okay. Going
to live in Florida, and that was fun until the hurricanes came. So we.
Did you cover any of the bigger ones?
Oh yeah. 2004 was Orlando. The coast got Hurricane Charlie was the first one, and then there was Hurricane Francis, and then there was Hurricane Jean, and there was a baby boom of sorts at that time too, because so many people were stuck
at home.
And coincidentally, after my wife and I got done, she was in the news business too.
Okay.
Somewhere in all that baby boom, we had our first child too.
Okay.
That was the post-hurricane coverage news people baby boom. So we had our son down in Florida. His name's Dakota. Because I always, you know, want him to have a name for the place that, you know, we love and miss. So then we were there, left there in 2007, went out to Seattle, and had our daughter out in Seattle. Her name's Delaney Sue, and Sue is S-I-O-U-X.
Okay.
Keeping with the theme.
Yeah.
So I was out there for 5 years, and last fall, when my dad started to, he had a heart problem.
Oh, okay.
And started to, it didn't seem like he was doing really great. We started talking to him about a heart transplant up at Abbott Northwestern here, Heart Hospital, which is great, by the way. And it kind of became a little more apparent to us that
might need to be
things were going on with him that maybe we needed to be up here for. So at that point I kind of started, I knew some people at Channel 5 here, and I kind of, I mean, just preliminary, I wouldn't even call it feelers. You know how these things work. It was sort of a weird evolution. But around the first of the year, then Dad started to get more sick, and things seemed more immediate. And at that point, I was really decided that we needed to try to get up here and be here for him.
Okay.
And so I started talking with the management here, and I talked to some, I'll be honest, I talked to some other stations around town too. But after having talked with everyone around town, I felt like this was the place to be. I felt like there was a lot more potential to come here and play a bigger role than maybe some of the other shops around town. So timing worked out. These things never work out. The job never comes when you want it to, and it did in this case, and it couldn't have been better timing, because we got here at the end of April, and my dad was supposed to be getting better, and he just was not getting any better. He went in for what was supposed to be just a really routine surgery May 25th. A couple days after he was at our house celebrating my son's birthday, and he went in for what was believed to be a routine surgery, and didn't come out of it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So he passed away, and I don't regret anything about moving here and being here. Obviously,
You were close.
Yeah, I would have liked to have been longer, of course.
Right.
But the last 6 months, I was fortunate to get to spend a lot of time with him. Spent a lot of time between here and Seattle. Seattle was gracious enough to let me leave and come here and help be around my dad. So he passed away, and here we are now. We're kind of trying to move forward and get our family situation taken care of, and just glad to be here and glad to be in Minnesota, and really happy to be sitting right here on this deck.
Good. Well, again, welcome to Minnesota, Chris.
Thank you.